Hello and welcome to Indian Energy World. I'm Sudhir and we are at the India Energy Week talking to none other than Mr. KK Chatiwal. He is the MD of IGL. A very warm welcome to you on our platform, Mr. Chatiwal.
A very good morning to you, Sudhir, and it's a very good occasion of India Energy Week to talk to you.
Okay, let me begin this conversation by trying to understand from you, where does IGL stand today in terms of the larger targets that we are working on? So the company is basically, there's a lot of growth that has happened in this company and a lot of growth in the CGD network in the country has been ascribed to IGL, right? In the past few years. So how do you see what are the basic factors that are fueling that growth, and how do you see all of that going further over the next few years?
Thank you for the question. Just to give you a brief about IGL's growth story, today India sells close to 35 million in the CGD sector, and we sell around 8.5 to 9 million of that. So that's close to 25% of the total gas sold. And in terms of CNG, we are the largest CNG supplier or the producer in the country. We have around the CNG capacity of around 15 millions, and we are
15
selling around 6.5 to 7 millions. Just for your viewers, the number 2 and number 3 combined are at around 5.1, 5.2.
Okay.
So that we are doing much more than that.
Okay.
And that has been the major reason for our growth story.
Okay.
And going forward, we plan to expand on our core of CNG and PNG. And for PNG, just to give the data, we have close to 25 lakh connections. In India, it's around 1.3 crores.
Okay.
And the target is to reach 12 crore connection as per the minimum work program of PNGRB.
Okay.
And IGL's target, we don't have a minimum work program because all the minimum work program targets have been achieved. We have a little target of 1 or 2 lakhs more. But our strategy has been to expand on the core portfolio of CNG and PNG. And PNG has three major segments. One is domestic PNG, second is industrial and commercial PNG. So these are the three segments. So all three segments we want to expand. If you see the growth of the sector in the last 8 to 10 years, from 2014 if we see, we had only 66 districts that had CGD networks. Today that number is 645 districts. We had only 783 CNG stations in 2014. Today that number is 6,500. The domestic connection were at 2.3 million. Today that is at 12 million. So that has been the kind of growth, and we see that in the next decade also, this growth is going to continue because the sector has been, now that the 100% of area of the 12th round would be allocated into geographical areas, and more than 60 players are operating. So definitely there are a couple of big players, but other players are also joining the sector.
Yeah, so definitely a lot of growth has happened in the past few years. What I want to ask you is, if you look at the number of CGD rounds that have happened so far, right? 9 or 10 rounds have happened, and now we are heading to 12 rounds have happened. And I want to understand from you in the rounds that have happened so far, what kind of percentage of geographical area is covered, and how many consumers are yet to be and they are still to be connected.
Right now, we have 300 plus geographical areas. So the exact number is 310.
And by the way, we are also joined by Mr. Pawan Kumar. He's the Director of Commercial of IGL.
Yes. So that number is around 310. And the target is that total LPG connections in the country is around 32 crores. So if we leave aside 10 crores of Ujjwala, the number is around 22 crores. So the target is at least 50 to 60% is covered through PNG. That is the target. And the second area for all the CGD entities is the industrial and commercial segment. Especially with respect to pollution. Because most of the industry may be using the polluting fuels. So as a country, we have an intermediate target of reducing CO2 emission by 45% in the interim, that is by 2030. So that will be a big boost to that all the polluting fuels, if they can replace with the natural gas, so that immediately brings down the emission levels of the country. And the second important factor is the transportation sector. Right now, as you know, 2/3 of the transport sector fuel is being used by heavy duty trucks and buses. So LNG has the natural gas has the potential to replace this diesel demand through LNG. And what that does is it immediately brings down your CO2 emissions by 30%.
Okay.
So that will be a big boost to our decarbonization target of India. And I feel that we can replicate what China has done.
Okay.
They have 600,000 vehicles that are flying on LNG, more than 5,000 stations. So India can replicate that. That's my belief.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on the kind of expansion that has happened in CGD, the entire CGD space in India at the moment, and where are we headed from here?
As far as government of India is concerned, they have allocated almost all the areas of the country to some CGD entity where they have been authorized to build, operate, and lay CGD infrastructure. But as far as IGL is concerned, IGL being one of the oldest CGD company, IGL is consuming almost selling almost 25% of the volume which is being sold in the CGD sector. And I'll reply to our geographical areas. We are working in 4 states: Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, and Rajasthan.
Okay.
So we have a plan of around 1400 crore rupees capex this year.
So most of the population density dense areas are already within our network already. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. The
Okay.
entire NCR is with us.
Okay.
Then if we talk of the western UP, the new areas which we have got is Meerut, Muzaffarnagar, Shamli. They are also thickly populated and quite rich areas because it's sugarcane belt. So we are laying infrastructure there. As soon as the online stations are being commissioned, sale is picking up. People are converting.
Okay.
Then in the eastern UP, we have Kanpur, Outer, Fatehpur, Hamirpur. Then we have recently started in Banda, Mahoba, and Chitrakoot. So there also we are laying infrastructure, and we find that lot of heavy trucks are there.
Okay.
And we plan to them convert on either on CNG or LNG.
So the expansion that has happened so far, it's more. The focus is more on residential or commercial, industrial. Which one of those, or it's broadly?
Basically, government allocates.
What is the?
Government allocates gas under APM, that is the administered pricing mechanism. That is only for domestic and the transportation sector.
Okay.
But main consumption is from transportation sector. Around 75% of total sales comes from CNG segment. Because there is a heavy demand. Each bus and truck or car, the consumption is very high.
Okay.
As far as domestic connections are concerned, we have around 25 lakh domestic connections. But being a household, the consumption is very low.
Okay.
Then, as far as industrial and commercial is concerned, we have to source gas from other sources and we have to sell. If we talk about the volume, 75% is around CNG and the remaining domestic, commercial and industrial.
So I also want to understand, there's a lot of development that has happened in the past some years in the biogas industry, right? Now, what are the ways in which that industry is, changing, and we have recently heard a lot of talk about blending of CBG also, because that's one announcement that happened in the budget. So blending of CBG with CGD, what is the latest that is happening there, and what kind of potential that exists there, if you can tell us about it?
See, I feel that this will be a game-changing initiative of the government of India, in the sense that the vision that you see of the government and the Prime Minister is that 54 million is the potential of CBG, and we feel that that is a very conservative estimate and we can easily achieve that. And what that will do is, today the total demand as of today is around 170-75 million. So we can you can see that it is the 54 million translates to around 30 to 35% of that, and 50% is imported. So this will be replacing the imported component.
Okay.
So this is going to be a major source of domestic gas. Domestic gas presently being produced is around 80 to 85 million. So if 54 million is added, now what is the challenge in this is that there are some technical issues, and that is where I feel that CGD entities can definitely make a difference.
Okay.
Now, just to explain that CBG plants, they continuously produce gas, but if you use only for the transportation sector, then you have to compress it and then fill it into cascades, and then the cascade dispenses, and then again the cascade comes and the cycle repeats. So there is some intermittency in between. I feel that CGD entities can make a difference in the sense that they have a network, and if this gas goes directly to the network, then there is a continuous supply, and whatever technical issues of quality and other factors are there, so that can be addressed with this.
Yeah.
Now, IGL has also targeted whatever is the blending obligation comes from 29-30,
Okay.
so 5%. We can, I feel, with the kind of strategies that we have, we can prepone that by 5 years. That IGL's target is that 5% blending by 25-26 instead
Okay.
of 29-30.
Sir, if I can ask you, if we look at the current calendar year, right, what will be the biggest, let's say, 2 or 3 developments that we expect from IGL's portfolio coming out? What are the top 2 or 3 areas of priority, when it comes to the agenda for
Question
growth
is,
of to both of you?
okay.
So I will say that according to me, there are 2 clear areas. One is the biogas, biomethane area, where I feel if we blend 5%, now what it does is it replaces the RLNG, which is costly gas that we procure. It is going to replace that with the biomethane,
Okay.
which is the cheapest gas currently available in the country.
Okay.
So there is no transportation involved. There are some taxation advantages, I would say, in biomethane or biogas. So that reduces our cost of procurement of gas. So that
Okay.
is a very positive step for us. Second is the LNG, and we feel that LNG has a huge potential, especially in medium to heavy commercial vehicle segment, bus segment, where bus electrification is demonstrated, but in medium to heavy commercial trucking segment,
Mm-hmm.
this has not demonstrated across the world that electric is a solution for that. So everybody is using LNG in that segment.
LNG based trucking, for example.
LNG. So we replace diesel with LNG.
Yeah.
So just to give you an example, China has 600,000, as I said, LNG trucks running
Okay.
on roads, 5,000 plus stations.
Okay.
We can replicate that. India can replicate that. And that would be a segment that each CGD entities is working on, because the challenge there is how to address the technical issue of boil of gas. So if it is in your GA, then you can address it, then you can take that gas into your network and reduce the pressure.
Okay.
But if it is not in your GA, where you are not allowed to dispense CNG or then
Yeah.
it may.
So a lot of those details will become clear, I think, in
And
days to come.
for addition of volume, we are going to commission more than 100 CNG stations, and we are going to add more than 3 lakh domestic connections, and we are going to add more than 3,000 industrial and commercial connections. So that volume growth is there. And
in the CNG and PNG space.
yeah, total. And we expect that we will close the year with 9 million metric cube gas sale per day.
Okay.
So CNG and PNG will continue to be your core portfolio.
The core focus area.
But
for
for
core business.
diversification would be in biogas and LNG, I would say.
Okay. In LNG, of late there's been a lot of talk about setting up a countrywide network of infrastructure so that there is availability of fuel even for heavy duty, let's say trucking, etc. I was talking to other oil companies of late, and they were also saying companies like Petronet, for example. So there are specific stations being set across the country to set up a proper infrastructure. Is IGL also involved there?
We are going a step further in the sense that we are not only setting up LNG stations,
Okay.
but the challenge of transportation of LNG through tanks. I mean, we are trying to address that in northern part of the country by converting the spare capacity of compressed natural gas that we have in our stations to LNG.
Okay.
So what this will do is we bring in gas through our pipelines
Okay.
from ports or mainly the gas today is coming from Dahej and Hazira. So it comes to Delhi.
Okay.
So then we will liquefy it in Delhi and then use it to dispensing. With this, we can serve the Jammu market, or we can go up to Jammu and Srinagar.
Okay.
So because right now technically it is not feasible, from Dahej to Jammu because of the boil off issue. That tank pressure goes up and then you have to vent some amount of gas.
Also, 2 days back, Niti Aayog has published a report
Okay.
with its recommendations to Government of India how LNG share can be increased in the transportation segment. So basically, they have given certain recommendations. If the recommendations are accepted by Government of India, it's going to be a big boost to LNG segment.
Yeah, so on that positive note, thank you for your time. Thanks to both of you.
Sir. Thank you.
We really look forward to hosting you again.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
what are the first